Aquí en el estudio le agradezco muchísimo Anthony Salcito, vicepresidente mundial de educación de Microsoft. Está de visita aquí en México. En unas horas va a estar participando en una conferencia, va a estar hablando justamente pues de un tema que es muy relevante para México y es la educación. Anthony, thank you very much for being here so early.
It's great to be here with you.
Please talk to me a little bit about the trends that you're seeing in education. Particularly, you're going to talk in a couple of hours here in Mexico about this, the vision of Microsoft and the big trends in terms of education.
Yeah, there are a lot that are happening around the world and certainly impacting Mexico. I get a chance to travel around the world and meeting with lots of country ministers and education officials who sense a need for change. And that need for change is actually created because the two most important things that they deal with have already changed. One is the way in which all of us as humans learn, the way in which we share ideas, create, collaborate, communicate with each other has changed. And that's certainly true of students in Mexico. The other reality is that the workplace has changed. Not only are the jobs that are needed by employers changing, there's a growing skills gap in this country and around the world. So education officials are sensing a need for change, and that's creating a desire for transformation boldly in education.
Le pregunto a Anthony, que bueno, pues va a estar dando una conferencia, hacia dónde ve las tendencias de la educación y sobre todo cuál será el mensaje con respecto a México. Me dice que él viaja por todo el mundo, de hecho, fuera del aire me decía 40 países más o menos visita, es una cosa muy importante, pero eso le permite ver justamente cómo está la realidad en cada uno de los países y además le permite tener encuentros con ministros de educación porque el panorama está cambiando en dos asuntos principalmente. Primero, cómo aprendemos, digamos, como sociedad humana, cómo estudiamos, cómo colaboramos. Ese es el primer cambio. Y en segundo lugar, el lugar de trabajo, el ámbito laboral, que también está cambiando y que hay una brecha entre las habilidades que requieren las empresas y lo que está ocurriendo. Do you think, Anthony, that the governments are the ones that are going to address these two big trends, or the society as a whole is going to just do it by itself because of necessity? We have seen a lot of new technological platforms that are just allowing persons to educate themselves without the intervention of necessary the government.
Yeah, the learning change, how all of us learn, find information, grow, and build skills, that's changing regardless. The new access to digital tools has created that catalyst. For the education system to change, it's going to require a commitment from government and really a voice from employers to say we need help to change, not only to prepare skills for the jobs that are growing, but to really think differently about the education system. That's one of the things that's creating pressure. I do think that one of the things that every country needs to recognize is that their education system is the foundation for not only their economic growth and potential, but really the quality of life in the country. And so we need to lean in and let the system really be addressed. Obviously, individuals can learn on their own, but I think we need to make this holistic because the value of the education system is going to be an important priority for every country.
Le pregunto si más allá de lo que puedan hacer los gobiernos, pues las personas están aprendiendo, es decir, la sociedad va tomando la necesidad de la educación. Me dice que sí, es cierto, es decir, no se están esperando a que sea el gobierno, pero sí tiene que pasar por el sistema de educación que es muy necesario y ahí pues los gobiernos están pidiendo ayuda para reinventarlos. Dice que se necesita repensar o pensar diferente acerca del sistema de educación porque está vinculado con el nivel de vida y por eso es importante inclinarse hacia él y comenzar a impulsarlo. Do you see any example in any country that you have visited in terms of a government that is doing and walking in the right direction in terms of the reform of the education system in the new landscape?
Well, I think there's urgency, and even with the Mexican government, there's recognition of a need for change. The problem that we see globally, I would say, is that the real amazing experiences, the real impact is actually at a very small level. It usually is inside of a classroom because of an amazing teacher that's making amazing things possible for their students. The challenge that we have globally is that those best practices, those examples, often don't even scale to the classroom next door. And so we've got to create a culture for change and innovation and really recognize that while technology is a catalyst for a lot of this change, it's a people change that's the most important. So how do we prepare our school leaders and our teachers to embrace this opportunity for innovation, to create a culture for sharing and collaboration across the school? And when that happens, we'll see that change. I do, though, see that many governments are mandating change, but we're still struggling to actually find great examples at a scale level of things that are taking place.
Le pregunto si observa algún ejemplo en uno de los muchos países que visita en términos de que lo estén haciendo. Me dice que, bueno, pues en todo el mundo hay un movimiento importante. El gobierno mexicano está reconociendo esta situación. Sin embargo, y es muy interesante lo que dice Anthony, estoy hablando esta mañana con Anthony Salcito, vicepresidente mundial de educación de Microsoft, me dice que pues muchos cambios son a nivel micro, de un maestro maravilloso que impulsa pues cierta tendencia, pero que eso no necesariamente se traslada incluso a la clase de al lado, y por eso se necesita impulsar una cultura de innovación. La tecnología es un gran catalizador en esta materia, pero todavía no se puede encontrar, digamos, un gran ejemplo a nivel mundial, si bien esto ocurre a nivel micro. How do you imagine the education in, I guess, I'm going to say not 10 years, but 20 years? Are the children are going to be on the school during 6 years in the primary school, then 3 more in secondary, and then other 3 in high school? How is it going to be, or is it going to be they're going to be in their homes and then they go to the school to socialize? How do you imagine it?
Yeah, I do think that there'll still be in any country a value of an education system, a place, a gathering place. But one of the things that'll happen is learning will happen everywhere. And certainly learning outside of a school will be as much more common than it even is today. The other thing that I think will fundamentally change is the way in which we think about the paradigm for learning, which is largely content and then assessment, will shift to one where mastery will become a foundation for learning, where students will develop skills that they can hone and develop over time that is purposefully connected to their career aspirations. And as opposed to people getting various grades based on their content at the same time, what we'll find is students will all master content and then move on at different times. So learning will be far more personal, and the sort of the rigor that we've put in place, largely because of the fundamental limitations of the past, will remove in the future. So I think learning will be far more dynamic, far more personal, and certainly learning will happen anywhere, anytime, more naturally.
Le pregunto en dónde se imagina o cómo será el sistema educativo en 20 años y bueno, me dice que el sistema de educación seguirá siendo muy importante, ocurrirá de manera colaborativa, pero van a cambiar paradigmas, por ejemplo, el que hoy es el contenido y luego la evaluación. Habrá, digamos, una diferencia en donde cada quien tendrá un contenido e irá avanzando de acuerdo a sus capacidades, habilidades, y al mismo tiempo será un ambiente más dinámico en donde se aprende en todas partes, y bueno, pues eso permitirá ir desarrollando las habilidades de acuerdo a los objetivos que cada quien se va planteando. Now, what about automation? I was just reading yesterday that there is Google developed code of machine learning that develop code for machine learning, and that is a big worry about many people is worried about the new paradigm in terms of the artificial intelligence. How do you see the role that is going to play the human being and the education in this new landscape where there is a lot of automatization?
Yeah, this is something at Microsoft that we're working a lot with our cognitive services platform that build right into our core cloud platforms like Azure and Office 365 to make artificial intelligence far more universal and democratic. So how do they fuel a product like PowerPoint to help language translation? One of the things that I'm going to show at the BET event that I'll be speaking at later is that I'll be able to speak in English as I'm speaking now, but my presentation will automatically be subtitled right inside of PowerPoint.
We need this for this program.
Yes, exactly. That's happening with advanced artificial intelligence that's built in to make it easier to use computing. One of the things that I think that we see is artificial intelligence and advanced computing will make everything happen more naturally. So I'm learning what I need to learn. I'm getting the right remediation. If I'm at risk of failing, I'm being helped, and a teacher will be helped as well. The thing that I think that we have to recognize is there's a lot of fear. Teachers fear that technology is displacing their role and perhaps creating a need for, maybe a less of a need for a teacher. What we see at Microsoft is the opposite, is that with these innovations and the opportunities for extending learning beyond the classroom, the need for amazing teaching and the value of a teacher has actually grown. And we need to inspire and celebrate the importance that teachers play in every society. And I would suggest technology without amazing teachers is not going to have the impact it needs. And what we know is that when technology is in the hands of a great teacher, you can actually make amazing things happen for students.
Le pregunto cómo entender el tema de la inteligencia artificial con este nuevo paradigma que genera mucho miedo en cuanto al proceso de automatización. Me dice que ellos tienen su plataforma cognitiva en Microsoft a través de distintas plataformas, por ejemplo, Office 365. Y bueno, pues esto se convierte, digamos, en una herramienta que permite aumentar las capacidades. Me cuenta, por ejemplo, que en su presentación que va a dar al rato, lo que vaya hablando de manera automática se va a ir traduciendo al español, y le digo, pues necesitamos algo así en este programa y sería más ágil. Pero bueno, pues pasa por impulsar naturalmente las capacidades, y menciona que esto finalmente permitirá empoderar más pues al ser humano, pero sobre todo también que hay mucho miedo entre los maestros con respecto a que la tecnología los está desplazando, y en realidad no es así, porque la tecnología por sí misma no va a sustituir al profesor, por el contrario, más bien lo va a ayudar a potenciar, y un gran maestro con una gran tecnología va a resultar en una aportación pues realmente asombrosa, y es bueno, parte, digamos, de la visión. Anthony, what would be your advice for someone that is listening to us and it has a kid? I don't know. What will be your advice? Because we need not to wait for the government and
Sure,
the
absolutely.
educational system. What will be the first step that you will say is necessary for any kid in order to be prepared for the present and the future?
Well, the first thing I think is to recognize that the value of an education system is going to be to prepare your passions and talent to solve challenges and really make a difference in the world. And then to take what your children are learning every day and apply it to how they can build their skills for the future. Showing things that excite and create their passions. One of the things that at Microsoft we work with Minecraft Education Edition, which is something that we are excited about seeing. What we see is a tool, a technology tool that sparks students' creativity, their passion to share and collaborate, their need for and hunger to find out more information, their problem-solving ability. Those are the skills that actually are needed by employers. I need to hire people that have those skills now at Microsoft. So understanding that the things that you're doing in classrooms, the content, the digital tools, etc., what do they invoke as it relates to the skills that are generating inside of your children? Those are the things that are most important. Develop them, recognize them, hone them, and then just encourage your students to continue to pursue their passions, because what the world needs are people who are motivated to apply their passions to make big change, and that's going to be needed in 5 years, it's going to be needed in 20 years, but it's also needed right now, and we need this generation of students to solve some of the problems that the world is facing in Mexico and around the world.
Le pregunto a Anthony que cuál sería su consejo para pues, los que tienen hijos y que quieren impulsarlos, digamos, y no pueden esperar a que se modifiquen los temas. Y me dice que, bueno, pues hay mucho valor, obviamente, en poder encaminar la pasión, el talento, impulsar el aprendizaje. Me cuenta un gran caso que es el de Minecraft para educación que tienen en Microsoft, que ayuda justamente a desarrollar las habilidades creativas, colaborativas, de compartir para resolver problemas, y que eso es lo que estarán buscando, o por ejemplo, desde Microsoft está buscando cualquier empresa en cuanto a contratar. Finalmente es un concepto muy importante el que dice, lo que más se necesita en 5, 10, 20 años o cuando sea es gente que tenga pasión, que esté muy motivada y obviamente que después tenga las habilidades, y de eso se trata, de tener estos componentes hacia adelante. Anthony Salcido, vicepresidente mundial de educación de Microsoft, thank you very much for being here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.